Good evening, I am Tomas Guevara Calderon, and this is the channel Rewriting the Reality. Subscribe now to this channel to rediscover your divinity. In the last episode, one explained the concept of impressions. Today in episode 132, I am going to explore further how our reality is created by us and how we can heal ourselves. We all created our own personal reality based on our beliefs and the influence from others, being the familiars or friends. I am going to insist that we must pay attention to our intuitions, which are all these impressions that we usually have. However, I must recognize that we are most familiar with our objective waking state of consciousness, but there are other areas of consciousness that are only very slightly removed from our objective waking consciousness. These areas are quite easily accessed. In actuality, we access these areas more often than we realize. We merely do not notice what we are accessing. An extreme example of one area of stepping sideways while we are engaged in an objective waking state would be a state of what we term to be daydreaming. This is a more extreme action of moving sideways within our objective waking state. We may move slightly less sideways, holding to our objective waking state, not allowing ourselves to drift so completely as within a state of daydreaming, but also stepping slightly to the side of ourselves, and we may hold a greater understanding of our reality. In being fully objectively aware, we may allow ourselves a slight movement to alter our perception just slightly, allowing ourselves to move into a feeling or a thought or a physical feeling and examine this area. What I am expressing to you may be likened to creating a landscape for a thought, or creating an inner landscape for an emotion, or creating an inner landscape for a physical feeling, being fully aware objectively, fully conscious as we term this to be, and noticing a thought or an emotion or a physical feeling, and in this, isolate the individual thought or feeling or emotion and create a landscape for this within us. Doing this, we may view other elements that are connected with this thought. We wish to look at the future, we wish to see into our future. We may, by examining our inner landscape. We hold an emotion. We may create a physical landscape from this emotion. We may create an entire scene stemming merely from one emotion. Allow ourselves to move into the area of the emotion, examining it, and from this allowing ourselves to visualize, springing initially with colors that we may identify with this emotion. Create these colors into a landscape. It may be a forest, it may be a lake, it may be a beach, it may be a field. It may be any landscape that we choose, and as we visualize this landscape and we move into examining this, knowing that this landscape is created by one emotion or one thought or one physical feeling, we may allow ourselves to interpret the elements of the landscape, which may also inform us of the direction that we are moving into, which shall be offering us information of what we are creating futurely. Let me give you an example. You hold a physical feeling, an ailment. In this, you may look at this ailment, the affected area of your physical body, your asthma for example. You may look at the actual organs which are affected. In this, you shrink yourself into yourself, create a tiny little you, and place it inside of you. Look at the physical form and create an inner landscape. We shall use a landscape of a tree-lined meadow. In this landscape, as you, being this tiny little you, move through the landscape, you may view each element within this landscape, each flower, each blade of grass, each tree, as an element of you in the physical ailment. As you move through this landscape, you may alter the landscape. You may rearrange the landscape. You may place your trees in different areas, and as you move objects within your landscape, you also alter actions within your intent within your physical form, for you are altering your action. You may also allow yourselves clues about the disease. As you view new flowers springing up within your landscape, you may also interpret this as new elements developing within the landscape that is your ailment. As you view certain elements disappearing within your landscape, you also may interpret this as elements and aspects of your ailment disappearing. As you choose to erase elements from your landscape, you may also offer to yourself the acknowledgement that you are beginning to actively uncreate the ailment. You may use this process of slightly stepping sideways within consciousness, being fully awake, being fully objectively aware, with many different aspects of your focus. You may isolate a thought, and you may create the same landscape. You may isolate an emotion and you may create an inner landscape which shall allow you to view aspects of this thought or emotion, and you may view what you may anticipate futurely, for as you enter more elements into your landscape, you may also be assured that you are creating more aspects connected with this thought or emotion. As you are eliminating elements from your landscape, you may also assure yourself that you are letting go of certain elements of the thought or emotion that you are choosing to eliminate. You may also engage this process with each other. You may step sideways with each other within the desire to be affecting or helpful with another individual. In this, you may create a little tiny you, and you may enter another individual and enter their landscape. In entering into another individual's landscape, you are not creating their landscape, but you may view their landscape. In this, you may be helpful in expressing to the other individual what you view within his or her landscape, therefore offering them more information also, for they may be blocking part of their ability to reach their landscape, and therefore you may be helpful in this manner. You may also intersect with another aspect of yourself, another focus, and you may connect with their inner landscape. Now we are moving into the area of responsibility. As you are affecting your own inner landscapes, you hold the responsibility to yourselves and to all consciousness to be affecting beneficially. As you move into areas of affectingness with other individuals or other focuses, even of yourself, you hold more responsibility, for you are now affecting another focus, or another life. Therefore, you hold the responsibility of the expression of essence. This is very important. It is important that you realize that you hold a responsibility within consciousness. I do not express to you that all of your existence is merely an experience with no responsibility. You experience for the experience, but you also hold tremendous responsibility to be expressing from the essence, or what many people wrongly call the higher self. An expression of essence is not to be concerning yourself with all other individuals and their creation of reality and creating judgment within you as to other individuals' creations of their reality. Your responsibility is to be accepting within yourself, and of all other individuals. I may not express this strongly enough. It is very important. Remember, each action that you create, you also are affecting within consciousness. Each action that you take, you affect all of consciousness. Therefore, you may quite understand the responsibility that you hold within these actions. I express to you though, it is much easier than you realize to be stepping sideways within consciousness and offering yourselves much more information than you presently do. It is quite easy to create these inner landscapes and be offering yourself and others much information. Each individual heals themselves. I do not heal you, your doctors doesn't heal you, nor do you heal another individual. Each individual heals themselves. Remember what Jesus said to the woman, I didn't heal you, your faith healed you. However, this story has been misunderstood because faith is confidence in oneself, just as he mentioned in the parable of the mustard seed. The account of Jesus healing the woman with the issue of blood is found in the New Testament of the Bible, specifically in the Gospels. The story appears in 3 of the 4 Gospels. Matthew 9 verses 20 to 22. Mark 5 verses 25 to 34. Luke 8 verses 43 to 48. I shall also express that to be attempting to heal somebody is an action that would be intrusive, for each of us creates what we create for our own reasoning and for our own attention. The problem is that we block ourselves by holding so very tightly to our belief systems, but as you begin changing and altering your belief systems, you offer yourselves more of an ease into the movement of accepting a belief system, and as you begin to accept your belief systems, you hold great effectiveness within consciousness, objectively and subjectively. Just to add something else that is very important and crucial, a therapist can put you under hypnosis and give you the respective instructions mentioned above to create this landscape and heal yourself. But here is the catch: if you didn't know why you caused the disease, this will reappear again. That is why it is very important to understand why you create what you create. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel.